So in basketball, I talked in the past about the skills or strategies. So in basketball, we have the different parts where you're dribbling the ball, you're shooting the ball, you're passing. And when you're playing basketball, the coach works on all those areas. Then when you have the game, you're putting all of those areas together. But with basketball, the coach sometimes looks and says, oh, okay, you should be offense. You should be at the front because you're good at shooting. And other players might be better at defense. Okay, so that's how sports work, soccer, basketball, football, etc. With our speaking, reading, writing, and listening, if we look at CLB 3, CLB 4, CLB 5, and I talked a little bit about this maybe in early January, your skills for these are not all going to be at the exact same point. Even if you're here in a CLB 4, maybe your reading is just starting to get into CLB 4 level, and maybe your speaking is already towards the end, or maybe it's already at a higher level. Okay? So next week when we do the assessments, that's where we'll start to see from the assessments. But if you're here with just barely into 5, that's good, but maybe you do a second or a third assessment and then maybe you find in speaking you're back here. That doesn't mean that your English has gone down. Different assessments are testing different areas. Okay? So as we go through next week, and we'll have some assessments at the end of March, we'll have some more assessments in April or May. Like, we'll do lots of the assessments through the next few months, so that when you look at the end of the year with your portfolio, that's where we can take a look and see. So the second thing I wanted to say is, in this classroom, we're CLB 4-5. In Lucy's classroom, she's CLB 3-4. And so it's possible when you're placed in the classroom, if you're somewhere in this range, it might be easier and better for your level. Even if you're in my class here, it might be easier for you to be in Lucy's class, because maybe there's some areas in mine that you're not understanding. And Lucy is a better teacher than I am with grammar and with some of the basic structures. So depending on your strengths and weaknesses, it's possible that some students in Lucy's class could come to our class because they're stronger, they're in this area towards the high end of 4. Well, then maybe they should be with us, and that's to challenge them to help them move into 5. And maybe with some here, if you're here at the starting with the 4s, then maybe in Lucy's class it might be more helpful for you. We never make students move to another class. We're never going to push you and say, oh, go there, go here, go here. We look at your WellArt score, we look at how you're doing in class. But if you found the last few weeks it's a little bit of a struggle, or there's parts that you're a bit confused of, you can talk with me. We won't make any choices or talk more, but once we've done assessments next week and we've kind of looked at all areas, if you're feeling, you know what, sometimes I'm not understanding, I want to switch, or in Lucy's class, if some of those students say, we're always understanding everything, we want to switch, there could be an option for that starting in March to move to a different class level. Because if I bring you into a class, and if I'm teaching stuff here, and you're still here, and most of it you're not understanding, that's not really helpful for you. It's better to go to a different area where you're getting more that's average, where maybe you understand. Like in my class, if you're, let's say that you're understanding 70%, and then 20% is really easy, and then 10 or 20%, I'll say 60, it's difficult for you. That's probably good, because you don't want everything. If you're in my class and 70% or 80% is always difficult, that's really frustrating because you start getting discouraged. But likewise, if some people are in Lucy's class and 70 or 80, 90% is always easy for them, then they should come and be more in here, so they have some challenging things and some easy things. I'm not saying any of you need to go to other classes. I'm not saying that. I'm happy that all of you are in our class. But if you've found in the last few weeks that there's a lot that you're not understanding, maybe we can talk about, is this the right class, or should you move to a different class?